Good morning, students. Welcome back to our review lecture of thermal engineering. So let us start with the definition of thermal engineering. As we know that this is the word thermal that is derived from Greek word therm. Therm means temperature. That means this is the branch of heat engineering which deals with the conversion of heat into the other form of energy. It is the branch of heat engineering which deals with the conversion of heat into the other form of energies. That all the study that is comes under the thermal engineering. Then thermodynamics, it is the science and conversion of heat energy into the work. It is a science of conversion of heat energy into the useful mechanical work or any other form of energy. So let us take an example of burning of coal inside the boiler, then the production of high temperature high pressure steam, and that high temperature high pressure steam that is impinges on the turbine blades so that the turbine blades get rotated, and then the mechanical work is produced. That mechanical work is given to the generator or alternator so that the mechanical work is the electrical energy is produced. Then the chemical energy of the fuel is converted into the heat energy in the boiler, then the pressure energy of the steam, then nozzle, the pressure energy is converted into kinetic energy in the nozzle, then there is the production of mechanical work in the turbine, then that mechanical work that means that rotation is given to the alternator or generator, there is the production of electricity. This is the sequence or the example of thermodynamics. Then the concept of pure substance. As we know that pure substance is a substance which has a fixed and homogeneous chemical composition throughout its mass. That means whatever the substance which has a fixed and homogeneous, that means it has the same properties in all the directions. Homogeneous chemical composition throughout its mass. Example: nitrogen, oxygen, helium, crystal of sugar, crystal of NaCl. Atmospheric air, steam, water mixture, and combustion products of fuel are regarded as a pure substance. Then thermodynamic system. As we know that if we define the thermodynamic system, then how we can define it? It has a finite quantity. It has a finite quantity of matter or region in a space where the transfer of mass and energy is possible. It is a finite quantity of matter or region in a space where the transfer of mass as well as the energy is possible. Let us take an example of this cylinder. In that there is the gas which is filled inside the cylinder. Then this is the piston above the gas. Then the weights are added over the piston. So as to keep the pressure constant inside the cylinder. To keep pressure inside the cylinder constant, the weights are added over the piston. That's why that weight added over the piston restrict the piston movement, up and down movement, whatever is that is restricted by the weight. Okay, that means the system has a finite quantity of matter or region in a space. System has finite quantity of matter or region in a space where the transfer of mass as well as energy is possible. This wall is the boundary. This is the boundary. Okay, boundary of a cylinder where the mass as well as the energy's transfer is possible. Okay. Then boundary, it is an actual or hypothetical enclosure surrounding the system. Whatever actual or hypothetical enclosure, whatever the enclosure outside the system, that is known as a boundary. Then surrounding, it is a region or space outside the boundary. It is a region or space outside the, this is the region outside the boundary of a system, that is known as a surrounding. Then universe, when system, its boundary, its surrounding put together. When system, its boundary, its surrounding put together are known as universe. Then types of system, there are, as we know that there are three types: open system, closed system, isolated system. And the system types which are according to the transfer of mass as well as energy across the boundary of a system. The three types which are depend on transfer of mass as well as energy across the boundary of a system and surrounding. Okay, if the mass as well as energy is transferred across the boundary of a system, when mass as well as energy is transferred between the system and surrounding, mass as well as energy, then in that case that system is known as the open system. When only energy is transferred between the system and surrounding, then such a type of system is known as closed system. In that case, mass of the system remains constant. Then the third type, that is neither mass nor the energy, both cannot be transferred between the system and surrounding. Such a type of system is known as isolated system. In that case, mass remains constant as well as the energy remains constant in case of the isolated system. In open system, both mass and energy both are transfer possible. In closed system, only energy transfer is possible, mass remains constant. In isolated system, neither mass nor the energy can transfer between the system and surrounding. That means mass and energy remains constant. Then properties of system. Properties are the measurable characteristic of a system. Measurable. These properties we can measure. So, which are those properties? There are two types of properties: intensive properties, extensive properties. Properties which are, these two types are basically according to the dependency on mass. If that property depends upon mass, that is known as the extensive property. If that property is independent of mass, that is known as the intensive property. So that, what are the examples of intensive property? Pressure, temperature, density. Then extensive properties, examples: total volume, total mass, total energy, enthalpy, entropy, weight. Then the relationship between extensive and intensive. Intensive and extensive property relationship. Whenever the extensive property is divided by the mass of the system, extensive property divided by mass, then we will get the intensive property. The intensive property. Okay. Then flow and non-flow process. The processes occurs in a closed system in which there is no transfer of mass between the system and surrounding are known as non-flow process. The process in which there is no transfer of mass between the system and surrounding, then such a type of process is known as non-flow process. Flow process. In case of flow process, there is the transfer of both mass as well as energy. That means there must be an open system. But in case of non-flow process, there is the closed system. So next is the working substance. It is a substance which transfers the energy between the system and surrounding. Then thermodynamic state. A state of a system is a condition of the system at particular moment that can be identified by its properties such as pressure, volume, temperature. This is the condition of a particular system at that point, at that moment, that can be shown with these three properties, that is pressure, volume, temperature. That means P1, V1, T1, P2, V2, T2. So that is why this is the condition number 1, this is the condition number 2. Okay, so that we will get P1, V1, T1 at the condition number 1 and P2, V2, T2, these properties at the condition number or state number 2. So that is why 1 is the state 1 and 2 is the also the state 2. Both are states. Then change of state. Any process in which one or more properties of system changes, then it is known as a state change. Any process in which one or more properties changes, one or more properties. If suppose take an example of this, in this the system changes from P1, V1, T1 to P2, V2, T2. That means there is a complete state change. There is a complete state change. Then again density, as we know that it is the mass per unit volume. Then specific volume. The specific volume of a system is the total volume divided by mass. Total volume divided by mass. That is the specific volume. Path. As we know that the thermodynamic system changes its state through a series of state changes. Thermodynamic system changes its state through a number of state changes. Then it is known as a path. Then process. When the path followed completely specifies a state change. When the path followed completely when a system is said to be in a thermodynamic equilibrium, it follows the three equilibriums. First is the mechanical equilibrium, second is the thermal equilibrium, third is the chemical equilibrium. In mechanical equilibrium, when there is no unbalanced forces within the system, then such a type of equilibrium is known as mechanical equilibrium. Then third is the thermal equilibrium. A system is said to be in a thermal equilibrium when there is no temperature changes. When there is no temperature difference between any part of the system, between the system and surrounding, that means no energy transfer. So such a type of equilibrium is known as thermal equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium. A system is said to be in a chemical equilibrium when there is no chemical reaction within the system and also there is no movement of any chemical constituent. Okay. So then heat and work. This is the thermodynamic work. Work is the transfer of energy associated with the force. Work is the transfer of energy associated with the force acting at a certain distance. Let us consider the example, that is gas which is filled inside the cylinder, which is heated by a burner. Then the piston moves at a certain distance S. Then the work W is said to be done. The work is said to be done. Whatever the gas filled inside the cylinder that is heated, due to that heating, the pressure inside the cylinder goes on increasing, and due to that the piston moves from its initial position to the final position at a certain distance S, so that there is the production of mechanical work W. Then the heat. Heat is the transfer of energy across the boundary of a system causing due to the temperature difference. Heat is the transfer of energy across the boundary of a system causing due to the temperature difference. Then the sign convention of work and heat. As we know that heat is added. If the heat is added, that is the positive heat. If the work is added, that is negative work. If the heat is added, that is positive heat. If the work is added, that is negative work. Then if the heat is rejected, that is negative heat. If the heat is rejected, that is negative heat. Then if the work is rejected or work is produced, that is positive work. That means the sign convention for both work as well as the heat are exactly opposite to each other. Then the difference between the heat and work, very important for the examination point of view. So the first parameter for the difference, that is definition. As we know that it is the transfer of energy across the boundary of a system causing due to the temperature difference. Due to temperature difference, the energy transfer, that is known as the heat. Then work. Work is the transfer of energy associated with the force and which is acting at a certain distance. Then low grade, high grade energy. As we know that the 100% conversion of heat into the work is not possible. That is why it is known as the low grade energy. 100% conversion of heat into the work is not possible. That is why it is a low grade energy. Then work, what is work? It is a high grade energy because the 100% of conversion of work into the other form of energy or into the heat is possible. The unit of heat is joule or kilojoule. Unit of work is kilowatt or watt. Then sign convention, whenever positive, whenever negative. As we know that the heat transfer from surrounding to the system, okay, that means heat input, that is positive. Then work produced, that is positive. Then heat whenever negative, when the heat is transfer from system to the surrounding, that means heat rejected, that is negative, and work rejected, that is work transfer from system to the from surrounding to the system, that is negative. Okay, so 100% conversion of energy is possible or not? As we know that 100% of conversion of heat into the work is not possible because of various types of losses. Then work, 100% work to heat conversion is possible. That is why it is high grade energy. Then example, after absorbing heat energy inside the engine cylinder, it produces the mechanical work. But as we know that there are a lot of losses, friction losses, heat transfer losses. So that is why there is not conversion of heat, 100% heat into the mechanical work. So this is the example of conversion of heat into the work. Then work to heat. Whenever the vehicle is stopped after applying the brakes, the work is converted into the as we know that vehicle is stopped after applying the brakes, the work is converted into the heat due to the friction at brake shoes. Okay, that means there is the conversion of 100% conversion of work into the heat is possible. Then energies, different types of energy: stored energy, transit energy. The stored energy is the energy possessed by the system within its boundaries. That means stored energy is the energy which is within its boundaries. That is example, potential energy, kinetic energy, internal energy. Then transit energy. This is the energy which is possessed by the body or the system which is capable of crossing its boundaries. Example, heat, work, electrical energy. Then potential energy, it is the energy possessed by the body due to its height. That is known as potential energy. The formula for the potential energy is P is equal to mgh. Then thermodynamic potential energy, it is the energy possessed by the body or a system due to its molecular arrangement. Then kinetic energy, it is the energy possessed by the body due to its motion. As we know that the formula, that is K is equal to 1/2 mv square. Then internal energy, the internal energy is the addition of both the potential energy and kinetic energy. Then flow work, it is the work done causing due to the flow of working substance. So that is why the formula for the flow work is equal to PV. Then enthalpy, as we know that the enthalpy is the total heat content of the system, or it is the addition of internal energy as well as the flow work. So that the unit of enthalpy is joule per kg or kilojoule per kg. Then entropy, it is the thermodynamic property which increases with the increase in temperature. It is denoted by S. It it is denoted by a S. So we can define it as the formula delta S is equal to dq divided by T. So these are the some laws, zeroth law of thermodynamics. As we know that when two systems or bodies which are in thermal equilibrium with the third body, then all the three bodies, that means two body and the another third body, all are in thermal equilibrium with each other. When two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with the third body, then all the three bodies are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Then first law of thermodynamics, there are three statements of first law. For a closed system, when it undergoes a thermodynamic cycle, closed system undergoing a thermodynamic cycle, the net heat transfer is equal to net work done. But as we know that the total conversion of heat into the work is not possible. The total conversion of heat into the work is not possible. So this is the symbol of cyclic integral. Then second statement, heat and work are mutually convertible. Heat and work are mutually convertible. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but the total heat content of the system remains constant. This is the law of conservation of energy. Heat and work are mutually convertible. The energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transformed from. Heat and work are mutually convertible. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but the total heat content of the system remains constant. Then the third statement, no machine can produce work without consuming energy. Then the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. As we know that the total conversion of 100% conversion of heat into the work is not possible due to the various types of losses. When a closed system undergoes a thermodynamic cycle, the net heat transfer equal to the net work transfer. This is a statement, but this statement does not specify the direction of flow of the heat and work. That means there is no any specification of direction. Then as we know that there are a lot of losses. Due to that losses, there is 100% conversion of heat into the work is not possible. It does not give idea about the nature of source. It does not give idea about the nature of the source, whether that is cold or hot. Practically, it is impossible to convert the heat into the equal amount of work. Then second law of thermodynamics, as we know that there are two statements. The first statement, that is Kelvin-Planck statement, and the second is the Clausius statement. So Kelvin-Planck statement, that is related to the engine, and the Clausius statement, that is related to the heat pump. And the statement is that it is impossible to construct the heat engine working in a cyclic process whose sole effect is to convert the total heat energy into equal amount of work. We cannot produce such a type of working engine in a cyclic process so that it can convert the total heat energy available into equal amount of work. That means whatever the equation given by the first law, that fails here. That means the cyclic dq is not equal to the cyclic dw. Then due to the various types of losses, there is a degradation of energy. That is why the engine cannot produce the equal amount of work whatever the heat is absorbed. Then Clausius statement, it is related to the heat pump. What it states, it is impossible to construct the heat pump working in a cyclic process whose sole effect is to transfer the heat energy from a body at lower temperature to the body at higher temperature. We have to transfer the heat from body at lower temperature to the higher temperature by using this heat pump. But what Clausius statement says, we cannot construct, we cannot produce, we cannot construct, or it is impossible to construct heat pump working in a cyclic process whose sole effect is to transfer the heat energy from a body at lower temperature to the body at higher temperature. Then this is the steady flow energy equation, that is Q minus W. Q minus W is equal to V2 square minus V1 square plus GZ2 minus Z1 plus H2 minus H1. So reversible process and irreversible process. A reversible process is one that can be stopped at any instant and can be reversed without affecting the system and surrounding. A reversible process is one which can be stopped at any instant and can be reversed without affecting the system and surrounding. Characteristics of reversible process is it must pass through the same state or reversed path as we are initially visited on the path. This process, when undone, will leave no history of events on its surrounding. That means it doesn't affect the system and surrounding. It must pass through continuous series of equilibrium state. Okay, this is the right point. Then no real process truly reversible process. Examples: frictionless relative motion, expansion and compression of spring, frictionless adiabatic expansion or compression of fluid, polytropic expansion or compression of fluid, isothermal expansion or the compression of electrolyte. So next is the irreversible process. When the process is reverse, that cannot reverse to its initial position. Whenever the process is reversed, that cannot return to its original or the initial state. That is why the process is known as the irreversible process. There are 4 types of irreversibilities: mechanical, second is the thermal, then internal, external. The mechanical irreversibility, it is associated with the friction. When two bodies have the relative motion between each other, a frictional force opposes their relative motion. The frictional force opposes the relative motion for the reversibility or reversibility. Then thermal irreversibility, it is associated with the heat transfer due to the finite temperature difference between the system and its surrounding. Due to that temperature difference, there is the restriction for the reversible process. Then internal irreversibility, it is caused due to the mixing of different layers of fluid at different temperatures. It is caused due to the mixing of different layers of fluid at different temperatures. Then external irreversibility, it is associated with the friction at bearings, friction between the atmospheric air, rotating members. So this is all about the chapter number 1 of the thermal engineering. This is the assignment number 1. MSBT questions. Okay, thank you.